Brings us to Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz. He's the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. He has invited former FBI Director James Comey to testify before that committee next week. Congressman, good morning. I know it's early there. Thanks for getting up with us. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Let me ask you about the appointment of Director Mueller. Do you have confidence in him? Do you expect to accept his results, whatever he finds?
I think he'll be broadly supported. He has impeccable credentials, a storied history, 10 years leading the FBI in both the Bush and the Obama administration. It couldn't be a better choice. He's at the latter part of his career, has nothing to prove. I think he'll do a fabulous job.
And in your mind, is this a textbook case of when you need a special prosecutor?
I don't know that I would have necessarily done that. I mean, I have not seen evidence of actual collusion. And so it does beg the question, why do they need a special prosecutor? What are they actually trying to prosecute? But the Department of Justice made this case. There are a lot of people that wanted to see it, particularly on the Democratic side of the aisle, and now it's in place, and I think he'll do a good job.
Well, I mean, just isn't it fairly straightforward if there was an investigation going on by the FBI and then the FBI director gets fired by the person who's at the center of the investigation, his campaign? Isn't that a pretty clear case of needing a special prosecutor?
Some have made that case. I just believe that there are literally thousands of career FBI agents, men and women, who also have impeccable credentials. What I like about the selection of Director Mueller is he used to run that organization, so he will get a running start. He won't lose the benefit of the work that has been done over the last several months. He'll be able to take up that baton and continue on.
Congressman, I got to ask you about this story that's breaking overnight. The New York Times reporting that Michael Flynn goes to the transition team for Trump before taking office and says, look, I'm under federal investigation for possibly secretly working for Turkey during the campaign. And despite that information being given to the Trump transition, he's made the national security advisor and given access to the most sensitive secrets of this government. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, I think one of the questions that also needs to be asked along that way is the White House itself does not make a determination as to whether or not somebody gets a security clearance. That goes to the Office of the Director of National Intelligence.
But you're putting him in that position where he has access to all those secrets, and you know he's under federal investigation for secretly working for another country.
Well, that's why it wasn't necessarily a secret. I mean, if he is actually disclosing that. Now, our committee, the Oversight Committee, has made a reference, a referral to the Secretary of the Army for final determination, because General Flynn should not have taken money from Turkey, nor should he have taken it from Russia. But the person that, or the group that actually makes the determination as to whether or not they get a security clearance is the Office of the Director of National Intelligence.
But hiring him as the national security advisor, does that sound like good judgment in your opinion?
Well, look, they took that into consideration, but they also look at the ODNI as to whether or not he has the proper security clearances. And I do think that Donald Trump did make the right decision, and that he let him go, 24 days into it. And I think the president did make the right decision.
Should he have been hired in the first place, I guess, is the question.
Well, you can argue that he probably shouldn't, and maybe in retrospect, knowing what we know now, he probably shouldn't have. But nevertheless, he did hire him. He was there for just over 3 weeks, and then he did dismiss him.
Congressman Jason Chaffetz, thank you so much, and keep us posted if you hear from Director Comey whether he'll testify.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.